We all have an acquired personality and traits that accompany it. Many of us think about the positive aspects, like our favorite activities, that we're funny, we love meeting new people, or trying new things. There are, however, numerous negative personality aspects that many of us are completely unaware of. Check out video 13 and 22 to learn more. We see these traits so clearly in other people, but because they appear so differently in each person, we fail to see them in ourselves. These traits make us seem annoying or hard to be around, and most of us struggle with receiving criticism about our personalities. When a friend or partner tries to talk to us or asks us to change, we get defensive. Rather than understanding that their words are intended to help us grow, it feels like an attack on our being. How dare you? You don't know me. You could never know what I've been through. And it can be quickly flipped around with a counterattack on them. Well, you're not so perfect either because of this. In this defensive moment, it's hard to understand how difficult it must have been, how carefully the words must have been chosen to even consider bringing up this subject to us at all. We all struggle at empathy when we're anxious. The best way to approach a conversation like this is to give someone a warning that something is coming so that they can be emotionally prepared. There's something I'd like to talk to you about, and I would appreciate it if you would hear me out and let me finish before you speak, because it's a difficult conversation and it's a need for me to have you hear it. You could also write them a letter so that they can process this on their own time. Our personality traits are acquired and not fundamentally who we are. In our hearts and souls, we desire and radiate love, connection, and calmness, but we live in a world affected by selfish desires of humans. We're surrounded by people, expectations, responsibilities, substances, and other influences that we are compelled or unavoidably required to experience. Part of our personalities, our likes and our dislikes, are less about who we are and more about what triggers dopamine production in our brains. Once we've encoded these behaviors of how best to function, we're resistant to change because it often means lowering the walls and revealing the vulnerable and potentially traumatic events from our upbringings. A person may deflect the conversation by saying, "Well, this is just how I am." A more accurate statement might be, "This is who I've become," or "This is how I am today." But these words are unlikely to be spoken by someone who is resistant to change. When another person's behavior compromises your own needs to feel calm and loved, a carefully approached conversation or letter like this is necessary. The Enneagram is a tool for self-discovery that I discovered in my mid-20s. Rather than being a personality test that tells you who you are, it contains a series of traits associated with different personality fixations, influenced by childhood experiences. No one identifies with all of them, and the Enneagram isn't designed to diagnose you, but reading about them gives you a language and a lens to evaluate your own life experiences through and helps you have patience for other people whose brains operate completely differently than your own. If you are interested in self-discovery and learning about your own negative unconscious traits, I highly recommend picking up a copy of the book and doing an online test to determine your type. The Enneagram was one of the first steps in my journey to understanding myself. There are many published books about the Enneagram, but the one that I first read was called The Enneagram: Understanding Yourself and Others in Your Life by Helen Palmer. I've actually purchased this book more than 5 times, and I keep giving copies of it to my friends as gifts.